love series. I binge series, but sometimes I make slow progress in series. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. If you are a returning viewer to my channel, you will know that I enjoy reading series books. If you are new to my channel, you do not know this, but you will quickly find out that I love to read series. I just love connecting with characters and spending more time with those same characters in multiple books. So I absolutely love it when we're following the same group of friends, family members, community members, whatever it is. I love that. Okay, so I thought with a part of series September, let's talk about what series I'm reading. And then I thought, well, this could become a series in its own. Just every once in a while, I'll check in and how am I doing on my series? Have I completed the series that I've talked about in the last video? Or what series have I started since the last video? So I have written down all the series that I've either completed in 2024. Doesn't mean I read all the books this year, but I finished the series this year. The series that I am caught up in and waiting for the next book to be released. And then all the series that I am in the midst of reading, and I still have books to read. So first, we're going to very quickly go through the 8 series that I have completed this year. Oh, I should say, the ones I'm talking about here are not in the order that I finished them. They're just in the order that I wrote them down. Okay, so we've got the Sykmar series by Pepper Basham. The book number 1 is Authentically Izzy. Book number 2 is Positively Penelope. And book number 3 is Loyally Luke. This is a contemporary romance series, and I have talked about this series on my channel. I also have reviews for each one of these books on my blog. Okay, then we have the Defend and Protect series by Lynn H. Blackburn. I just read this series in August, so this is in my August wrap-up. And, oh, I'm holding them in backwards. Book number 1 is Unknown Threat. Book number 2 is Malicious Intent. And book number 3 is Under Fire. This is a romantic suspense series. Then we have the Newport 9/11 series by Terri Blackstock. This is an older series, so this year was a reread of this series for me. Again, I have a full review for each one of these books on my blog. It's a romantic suspense as well. Book number 1 is Private Justice. Book number 2 is Shadow of Doubt. Book number 3 is Word of Honor. Book number 4 is Trial by Fire. And book number 5 is Line of Duty. Okay, then also a reread for me this year was the, oh, again I'm holding them backwards, the If I Run series by Terri Blackstock. So book number 1 is If I Run, book number 2 is If I'm Found, and book number 3 is If I Live. This is another suspense series, and I just reread it in August, so it is also included in my August wrap-up. Okay, then I have The Supper Club by Carla Laureano. This is a contemporary romance series. Book number 1 is The Saturday Night Supper Club. Book number 2 is Brunch at Bittersweet Cafe. And book number 3 is The Solid Grounds Coffee Company. Okay, then I finished the Misty River series by Becky Wade. I had these on my Kindle, so I don't have the books to hold up for you. And so book number 1 is Stay With Me, Let It Be Me, Turn to Me, I think are the 3 books in the order, but the covers will be here. I don't remember for sure which order they went in. Okay, then that is a contemporary romance series. Then another contemporary romance series is the Nantucket Love Story by Courtney Walsh. And this is another 3-book series. If for any reason is book number 1, and Is It Any Wonder is book number 2, and then book number 3 is What Matters Most. Okay. And then the last series is another romantic suspense series, and that is the Sky King Ranch by Susan May Warren. So book number 1 is Sunrise, book number 2 is Sunburst, and book number 3 is Sundown. Okay, so those are all the series that I have completed this year. Now, the series that I am up to date on and waiting for the next book to be released is 2. So that is the Undaunted Courage series by Irene Hannon. This is a romantic suspense. Book number 2 is Over the Edge, which comes out October 1st. So I only have a month or so to wait. Okay, then the next series that I am completely caught up until book number 3 comes out is the Texas Ever After series by Karen Witemeyer. Book number 3 is Cloaked in Beauty, and it comes out December the 17th. So I have a few months to wait there. Okay, now we get into the ones that I have in progress. Okay, so I have 19 series in progress. And that is a total of 52 books to read. Yikes. Okay, so the first series, I've just written these down in kind of how far I am in the series. Okay, so the first series is Hope Harbor by Irene Hannon. This is currently a 10-book series, and I have read 9 of 10. So the next one for me to read is Sandcastle Inn. This is a contemporary romance series. The main couples that we're following are new characters or possibly side characters we've met in previous books, but most of the time they are new to us. But community members in the town carry over, especially one member in particular. Okay, this will have an 11th book in the series that's coming out next April. But this book is on my September TBR. Okay, then I have suspense, sci-fi types. I don't know what genre this is considered. So then we have Restoration by Terri Blackstock. This is a 4-book series. I have read 3 of the 4 books, so I only have the one left, which is Dawn's Light. Hoping I can finish it this year. That would be great because I started this series this year. Okay, then we have Pelican Harbor by Colleen Coble. This is another romantic suspense series. It is a 3-book series, and I only have the 1 book left. I've read 2, so I have 3 missing days left, which is on my September TBR, so I will finish it this month, hopefully, if things go as planned. Okay, then we have The Wycliffe Family by Jessica Scarlett. This is a 3-book series. I have read 2 of the 3. So I have A Lady on the Chase to read. I started this series a couple years ago. I really need to finish it. It is a Regency, I want to say. I don't have this. I borrowed the first 2 books on Kindle Unlimited, so I just need to get my hands on book number 3 to finish it. And what I remember is we're following a sibling group. Each book is one of the siblings, and it's romance. Okay, then we have If I Were You Duology by Lynn Austin. So it is a 2-book series, and I've read the first book, and I just need to read the second book, which is The Wish Book Christmas. And I'm hoping to get it read this year, but I am waiting to get closer to Christmas before I read this book. It is another historical. Yes. Okay, then I have Lake City Heroes by Lynette Eason. This is currently a 2-book series. Book number 2 is Target Acquired. And we know that there will be a third book coming out in January. That's all we know so far. Her series tend to be 4 books, so I'm guessing there'll be another one coming out next August. I don't know. But this one just released August the 20th, and I am currently reading it. So hopefully this one will be finished soon, and I can add it to my caught up series list and make that 3 instead of 2. Okay, then we have the Sons of Scandal series by Becky Wade. This is a contemporary romance. I have read one of the 2 books that are currently released. The next book is Rocky Road. Now, I am pretty sure this will be a 3-book series, but book number 3 has not been announced yet. Okay, then I have the original 6 hockey series. This is a contemporary romance by Carolyn Miller. This is a 6-book series. I've read 3 of them, so I have 3 more to go. The next one I need to read is book number 4, which is Hearts and Goals. And so in this series, the male main character is a hockey player, and it is the original 6, so it's based, each one of the 6 male main characters throughout play for one of the original 6 hockey teams. Okay, and I've really enjoyed it, but I also really enjoy hockey, so it's kind of a fun book for me. Fun series so far. Okay, then I have London Beginnings by Jennifer Delamere, and this is a 3-book series. I have read one of the 3 books. The next book for me to read is book number 2, The Heart's Appeal. This is a historical based in London, hence the name London Beginnings. And so far, my understanding is we are following a group of siblings. Again, like each book is one of the siblings' stories. So I know that book number 2 follows Julia, I want to say, yes, who is the sister of the character in book number 1 that we met. So I would like to complete this series this year as well, so we'll see. Okay, then another historical is Canadian Crossings by Susan Ann Mason. I have read 1 book so far of this series. It is a 3-book series, so I have 2 left to go. The next one I need to read is The Highest of Hopes. And as kind of the title states, Canadian Crossings, it's about characters coming to Canada. And each story seems to be, from what I've read of the summaries, each one seems to be separate. Like the characters don't carry over or anything like that, but I've only read 1 book, so don't take my word for that, because I don't know till I get to reading book number 2. Okay, then we have the Curl Up and Dye Mysteries. Dye with like D-Y-E, like hair dye. Okay, by Nancy Mehl. This is a cozy mystery series. Book number 1 was Missing Mabel, which I read in August. And so book number 2 is Bumping Off Binky. This is a 3-book series, so I still have 2 more books to go in this series. And from my understanding, we meet a couple forms in book number 1. We see a couple come together, like start dating. I guess, how else do I say that? And so the 3 books are following their romance. The last book is called A Wedding to Die For. Again, the hair dye spelling. So from what I understand, is the wedding of the couple from book number 1. At least I hope it's the wedding of the couple from book number 1. We will see. So I kind of enjoyed that series, and I like following the same characters throughout. So I love when a book, you've got the same characters all the way. Okay, then we have the Emmy Lake Chronicles by A.J. Pearce. This is a 3-book series. I've read the first book, so I have 2 left to go. The next one for me to read is Yours Cheerfully. And we are following Emmy Lake, who we met in book number 1. And again, this is similar. She found romance in book number 1. and we are just following kind of her journey through. This is historical, set in September of 1941 in London, England. Okay, then we have another historical, and that is The Bleecker Street Inquiry Agency by Jen Turano. This is a 3-book series. I have read book number 1. This is book number 2 that I need to read next, To Right a Wrong. We meet a group of ladies at a boarding house. Is it a boarding house? Yes, I'm pretty sure it's a boarding house. And so we met them in book number 1, and I know that we met the main character of this book in there, and they've kind of formed their own private investigator business. And so I want to know more about these characters and spend more time with them. Okay, then we have another historical, but this one is mystery. This is the Drew Farthering Mysteries, and this is a 6-book series. I've read 2 of the 6 books, so I have 4 remaining. And the next one for me to read is book number 3, which is Murder at the Mikado, I think. And from what I understand, what I remember of this series so far is we have met Drew, and he is not involved with the police at all, not a detective, but he gets pulled into these mysteries and starts kind of solving the mysteries. Sort of, in my mind, sort of like a male version of Miss Marple, younger, but yeah. Then he has kind of a romance interest and a best friend, and kind of the 3 of them end up working on, so maybe Nancy Drew type, Hardy Boys type. Yeah, I've just really enjoyed it so far, and it's set in 1930s in England. Then we have another romantic suspense. This is Saltwater Cowboys by Christy Barrett. This is a 6-book series currently, and I've read book number 1. I started this series in August as well. And this one is set on Cape Coral. Is basically there's wild horses on this island and people living with them, around them. Yeah. I really enjoyed book number 1, so I want to continue the series. And I assume from reading a lot of Christie's books in the past that a lot of the characters that we will follow the same friend group and characters we met from previous books, we'll see them again. Okay, then also by Christy Barrett, another suspense, is the Fog Lake Suspense. This is a 7-book series. I've read book number 1, so I need to continue this series, but I don't own any of the other books. So the first book, or the book number 2, the book that I need to read next, is Margin of Error. I really don't remember anything about this series. Yeah, not at all. So, okay, then we go to a non-fiction book, and that is All Creatures Great and Small. This is an 8-book series. I have read book number 1, so I have 7 more to go. Book number 2 is It Shouldn't Happen to a Vet. And basically, I'm reading this series because I watched All Creatures Great and Small with my parents growing up, and I visited the set in England back in the 90s. And so I would like to kind of read these books, because I haven't read them before, to kind of refresh myself and spend more time with these characters. I really enjoyed reading book number 1, only because I could easily picture the actors from the show that I grew up watching. But looking at this cover with all the snow, I have to wait till winter to read this book. That's what I'm telling myself anyways. Okay, then, series I've just started. I have 2 of them. So we have the Global Search and Rescue series by Susan May Warren. I am currently reading book number 1 of this series. All 3 books ended up on my September TBR. So this is a romantic suspense. And right now in book number 1, we are climbing a mountain, climbing Denali in Alaska, and it's snowing. Yeah, not really what I want to be reading in September, but, and why do people climb like ice mountain, like rock mountain climbing, ice, right? Mountain climb? I don't understand. I don't get the thrill of it. Let's just risk our lives. But okay. Then the last one, which is also another series I'm starting in September, is the Sunrise at Normandy series. Book number 1 is The Sea Before Us by Sarah Sundin. And all 3 books are on my September TBR as well. So I hope to complete this series. So currently there are 19 series on my list. But I should complete Sunrise at Normandy and the Global Search and Rescue series, because there are 6 books on my TBR right there for September. So I should complete those 2 this month. I'm also reading 3 Missing Days this month and Sandcastle Inn, which will also get me up to date on a series and complete a series. So my 19 should go down to 15 by the end of September. As long as I don't start any more series. And I don't think I'm starting a series this month. So we'll see. So those are the series I am currently reading. Stay tuned to find out in, I don't know, say 6 months to see how many of these series have I completed and how many have I added since I did this video. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today and let me know what your favorite series to read is, or, oh, I missed a series completely. Oops. That was only 18 series. 19. What is series number 19? I'm sorry. Okay. Rodeo Romance by Shanna Hatfield. I just discovered today, as I was creating this list, that I am not up to date on this series, and I thought I was. So I have read 11 of the 12 books in this series. Book number 12, Tricking Christmas, came out last December, and I haven't read it. How did I not know about it? Yeah, so the Rodeo Romance series is basically following a group of cowboys that from different states, but they all end up going to the rodeo convention in Las Vegas in December, and other rodeos as well. But they kind of all eventually, in the book, they all eventually show up at the convention. And so you see characters that you've met before because they're different friend groups and stuff. And it's a romance series, and I've really enjoyed it. These are fun reads for me. So I need to get this book read to get back caught up into this series. My understanding that Shanna is releasing a book each Christmas to go with these series. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but yeah, so currently it's a 12-book series, apparently. So there's another book I need to read. Okay, that is really, double checking my list, that is really all the series I am currently reading. So will I get this down? Will I get 19 down to 15 by the end of September? Now I'm not really sure, and I'm not going to count again to see. Okay, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today. And as I said, I would love it if you would comment what your favorite series is that you're currently reading, what your favorite series of all time is, or what series you really need to finish. I want to thank you. Have a great day. Bye.